to Knoxville, Tennessee on March the 5th, to approve the Madison Southern Band trip to Dayton, Ohio on April 21, 22, to approve the Madison Southern Band trip to Gatlinburg, Tennessee on April 30th, to approve the Madison Middle School Band trip to Kings Island, Ohio on May 7th, and to approve a shortened school day application. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So
Motion by Ms. Coyle, second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have our instruction report. Tonight, we have Silver Creek Elementary Principal Amanda Heaton, Waco Elementary Principal Vanessa Cromer, and Kirksville Elementary Principal Derek Fussell to present us with the elementary report. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you, and I appreciate you allowing me to take a minute and present some wonderful things that are going on at my school. I had to write it all down. I didn't want to forget anything. First and foremost, I would like to thank my staff for their excellent service these past 2.5 years. Both certified and classified have worked cohesively, erasing the boundaries of all job descriptors. I know it hasn't been easy, and at times they probably wanted to push me off a bridge, but they didn't. We stuck it out together. I've chosen 3 items to highlight from our school this evening. The first thing I want to shine a spotlight on is the intentionality of the staff to focus on the mental, physical, social, and emotional well-being of their coworkers and our children. I want to praise my guidance counselor, Cecily Hall, for taking the lead on this task. I also want to thank my staff for making it a priority to allow students the opportunity to share how they are feeling, coping, and problem solving. As we emerge from this terrible pandemic, I know my team will continue to meet the needs of our children. The second thing I want to showcase is the support my staff has received from the instructional resource team. Leanne Arthur, Marie Halsinger, Sandy Cablin, Leslie Lilly, Leslie Reed, and Pam Mullins. They have been instrumental in moving our academic work forward with district and school initiatives like MDC, CCI, deconstruction of standards, and the development of success criteria. Classroom teachers have worked hard using data to drive instruction and close learning gaps created by the non-traditional school experience. Guided by our instructional team, classroom teachers have observed at other schools, planned lessons, and reflected on teacher practices. 2 classroom examples of growth that I would like to celebrate. The number of our first graders who have moved from introductory reading level AA to level F, and the amount of growth our 5th grade students have made on iReady reading from fall to winter. Everyone's hard work is paying off. The last thing I want to emphasize is how amazing my exceptional child team has been throughout the pandemic. They have been relentless about reaching out to families to provide support, alternative ways of attending meetings, creating individualized lessons, providing one-on-one instruction, and collecting and dropping off work during quarantine or illness. They've worked hard to provide flexible hours, keep up with paperwork and documentation, while meeting the demanding needs of students this year and acclimating them back to the school setting. Although it has not been easy for them, they have worked diligently with a smile on their face and a servant leadership heart. Thank you, speech, gifted and talented, and special education teachers in Paris. In March of 2020, Dr. Gillum told the administrative team to be prepared to live in the gray. As leaders, we passed his message on to our teams. At the time I asked my team to live in the gray, I was unaware there are 256 variations of gray. However, we have lived through all of those shades and will continue to push forward, providing the best academic experience possible for each and every child at Waco. With that being said, I would like to thank all of my adult Cardinals for creating a nest of love, compassion, and grace for our children. Thank you for allowing me to present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Heaton, Silver Creek Elementary School, Bobcat Nation. So this year we have a little different motto. Our motto is Bobcats Believe. because after the year that we had last year, we came back and talked about how important it is for us to believe in ourselves and to believe in our students. And so having those high expectations matched with compassion is what we're doing every day. So I'm going to share some exciting things that we have going on with you. The first one is our 2 goals. So our first goal is at least 80% of our students at Silver Creek are going to be at or above grade level every single year. That's a big goal this year after our data what it was, but we are fired up to get there. The other is that we're going to re-engage our school community. Last year was hard because we had to take a step back. I'm a big everybody come in principal, and last year I had to say, so sorry, nobody's coming in. And so we're trying to get people back in the building through getting our Watchdog program started this fall and all of the things that we're doing to try to get our parents re-engaged. One of the ways, I'm going to kind of skip ahead, that we're doing that is last year we were awarded a $10,000 state-of-the-art high tunnel at Silver Creek. So we were one of the only elementary schools in the state that has one, and it is fully functional and self-sustaining. So all of our kids at Silver Creek are going to be able to grow, and we are partnered with Grow Appalachia on this project. They came out and built it this summer. And with Bria Sustainability, we have raised beds for every student in our building to be able to plant and grow. So we invite you to come out this spring. We have a gutter system that runs water and water pumps that are going to completely irrigate our high tunnel system, and it's completely going to be student-led. So we are very excited to get that program rolling this spring, and so we hope that you'll come check it out. The next thing I want to talk to you all about is our data, because we got to talk about the serious stuff too. So we had a whole bunch of celebrations about our winter data. I met with every teacher one-on-one. We looked at their proficiency, we looked at their growth, and we also looked at their standards mastery and where are kids at on our current standards. So here's some celebrations. 57% of our kindergarten students are scoring in the green, and our highest 2 subdomain areas are comprehension of literary text and comprehension of informational text, which are usually 2 of the lowest, which shows that our high-quality whole group and small group instruction is working at the kindergarten level. So thank you for giving us our kindergarten back. We are kicking butt and taking names. Thank you. 57% of our 3rd grade students are also scoring in the green, with our highest scores being in phonemic awareness, high-frequency words, phonics, and comprehension. So that's very exciting to see as well. And let's talk about growth. Over 50% of 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade have made a year's worth of growth already. Yes, right now, according to iReady. So I think that's definitely worth a clap. And 61% of our 5th graders have already made a year's worth of growth in reading. So lots of things to celebrate. Our kids are moving, they're growing, and they're succeeding. All of them are high-fiving me, and 2 kids, the ones with the highest growth, get Popolinos for lunch. And so they are very excited about Popolinos with Miss Heaton. They're still young enough that eating with the principal is a fun thing. And then the last thing I want to talk about is that growth is because of the work that we have going on in the building. We are blessed to have an MDC coach, Miss Denise Strange, and she has been phenomenal here at Silver Creek. Our teachers are bought in. Almost every teacher in the building at this point is on either BIT Team 1 or BIT Team 2, and they are getting daily coaching, modeling. She's in their classroom. She's providing resources. And right now, every Tuesday, we're doing lesson planning with our teachers to help take some of that load off and support them in that planning process. And we really think that's why we're seeing the gains we're seeing. Also, I want to thank you all for our academic interventionists. I've had a switch. I started with Sarah Anglin, who's phenomenal, but she has moved into our counselor role after Mrs. Sowers retired after 37 years of service. So Megan Hillman is our new academic interventionist. She's been fantastic, and she's leading our teachers with reading and writing and science and social studies and for helping them with their planning, modeling, coaching, and all the same things Denise is doing, but in the literacy role. So that has been fantastic for us as well. So lots of great things that are happening at Silver Creek. We appreciate your support so much, and we invite you out anytime you want to come. Thank you all.
Thank you. Samantha and I are sitting down here getting our
We're getting the one calls about school tomorrow.
I'm like,
Hello, I'm Mr. Bustle. I'm the new principal at Kirksville Elementary and glad to be a Blue Jay. We are all about the Blue Jay way at Kirksville Elementary. We have a lead motto, love learning, encourage others, achieve our goals, and do what's right, because Blue Jays always lead. And we incorporate that throughout our school, put that in our classrooms, our cafeteria, in the hallways, and following that in our MTSS team, meeting monthly, talking about that, looking at data, looking at our social emotional screeners that we have on our students, and also looking at academic performances, and also looking at behavior references that come down to us, and looking at that and trying to meet our students everywhere we can. Something we're proud about this year is we're having morning meetups. We're using Sanford Harmony in our for social emotional support, and every morning our classrooms are all having morning meetups. They talk about highs and lows. This gives our students a chance to find some self-awareness, some self-regulation, so that they can control, having some of the social emotion pieces that's been going on in our schools, and having that and building those relationships in our classroom. That's something we're really proud of. Actually, in next week or 2 weeks, starting February 14th, we're starting a kindness week in our school. We're going to have a night that we're trying to bring family back in, talking about parent engagement. It's time that we can let some of our families come back in. We have just a few activities across our school in some of our larger areas, kind of quicker, but just trying to get our families back in to be around our staff, and our staff to be around our kiddos in the afternoon and get to experience some fun things that we have going on, and also encourage kindness all the way through next week. And so we'll have that night this coming Thursday. I would like to thank also my guidance counselor, Miss Angie Wilcox, is awesome at meeting the needs of our students and our staff, and being such a support in our school, and that's been a rock-solid piece for us this year, and a very much-needed thing for our students. And I just appreciate her work, and also our staff in buying in and being that way. We definitely have total buy-in at Kirksville Elementary. If there's anything from my experiences coming here, we have complete, total teacher efficacy. Everybody's bought in. It is unbelievable. The Blue Jay way is real. It is there. It is our mindset, and we try to push that into our students as well. And even the principal might just wear blue every day just to make sure that everybody knows that it's the Kirksville way. We're going to rub it. We're going to make sure that you know about it, and we're going to celebrate it, because that's what we want. We want our Blue Jays to be proud about Blue Jays. Just add you a little thing, I always I've kind of talked to the teachers a little bit, and I say whenever a student comes into Clark Moore, Madison Middle, or into Ferristown, when they raise their hand, I want that teacher to say that child is a Blue Jay. And that's what we want. We want to stand out, and we want to be the best that we possibly can be. In the summer, during summer school, we incorporated an intervention system, RISE, through Scholastic, and we had a lot of success with our first grade ESS, some of our summer school students. Where the growth was amazing with Miss Amy Smith leading that, kind of helping us out and getting that going. We incorporated that this year as kind of a focus, just to focus on our first grade team. It's just some small group interventions that are quick, powerful, kind of get their students moving around. It takes a lot of support, a lot of work, a lot of planning, because kids are fluid. They move in groups as they grow. We had so much success with that, and we celebrated those successes in first grade. Growth was unbelievable with that program. So we have now incorporated that since the semester change up in our second grade program to make sure that our students are where they need to be, to make sure they find success as they move forward. Something that is also very powerful at Kirksville Elementary is our MDC program. We have 2 bid teams currently at Kirksville. Kirksville's been a part of this for about 5 to 6 years, I think, somewhere into that. I don't know exactly, but 5 or 6 years. I would also like to take this moment to say thanks to Ms. Brown for the foundation and all the leaders that have come from Kirksville Elementary and the former teachers and fixing that foundation, because it's real. We have quite a few new staff at Kirksville Elementary, and it's amazing how that work ahead has incorporated right into the teachers that we have now. Me being a new guy coming in and learning some of those new programs, it's amazing the support that we have in the program and how strong it is and the power that it does have once it's incorporated into our other elementary schools. And Kirksville will always be there to help support and guide, some of those early pieces and making sure to show some of those growing pains that we had through that. But yeah, basically we're focusing on relationships right now. That's one of our main focuses right now, is focusing on relationships, building a safe place for our students to learn, and making sure that we're giving our students everything that we possibly can give every day. Something that I'll always show and always preach is whatever it takes to make an impact on our students, and whatever it takes to help our Blue Jays. And I definitely got buy-in. It was already there before I got there, but it's all about the Blue Jay way. And so basically with that, you all have any questions about anything? About elementary, about anything that's going on?
What was that, I thought it was so interesting. What was that you said you guys are doing first thing in the morning that's kind of that social emotional
Yeah, it's
piece
basically
that
a morning meetup, and so we talk about highs and lows. So students have the opportunity to share some highs, which would be some good things that may be going on, and they also can share some lows, some things that are going, maybe they're not feeling the greatest about, just kind of sharing those and building those relationships in there and having that support group in there. And we have even some of our related art teachers are going into our classrooms first thing in the morning. Obviously, Miss Wilcox, the other staff are coming in and joining in those conversations, and it just builds those relationships, gives you those stories that you can link with those children and making sure that, they know that we care, we have those connections with them.
That's awesome, because that's the one piece I think we can all agree on, weighs super heavy on me personally, about how this has all affected all of these kids.
Oh, it's affected all the adults, and so
And
we
the
can only
adults.
imagine the impact that
Right.
it's making on our
And it's
children.
affected it's just affected everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
And it just.
Are all of you all doing that? Yeah,
That's
good,
awesome.
good. That makes us happy.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Thank
Yeah.
you all so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next on our agenda is our action agenda, or no? Damn it. Construction report, Mr. Tony Thomas.
Good afternoon. Boy, Madison County has some good principals.
We do, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So despite the bad weather, construction has continued. The last couple of weeks and this coming week are not very good indicators of how progress will go over the next weekend or so, but so far they've been doing very well throughout the winter. We had some progress meetings this week on the two tech centers, and they've indicated to us that they're where we said we were last month, which is basically at the end of April, getting to a point where the owner can move equipment in come the beginning of May. And with that said, I'll begin the PowerPoint. We'll start at the Technology Center. And again, you can see lots of brick up now, finishing up the brick. The material's supposed to be on site to put the windows in within a couple of weeks. That's an interior shot of the lobby. Again, you can see all the brick up. Another shot of the interior looking back towards the gymnasium storm shelter. And that's a detail, that's actually a couple of weeks old, but just a detail shot of one of the front lab areas, how the brick detail works. That's just stepping back away. That's a couple of weeks old too, because that one still has snow on the roof, and they've struggled to get they have the materials for the windows and they have the materials for the roof, they just haven't had the weather to put it in. Despite not being able to get the doors and windows in, they are implementing a plan to heat the inside of the building, and you can see there where they've put up plastic, kind of reinforced plastic, so they can go ahead and get some heat in the building and dry it out and start finishes on the inside. There's a shot from the inside looking out at the reinforced plastic and also the inside of a lab. And there's the big monster that's going to push all the heat in there and dry that area out. So they're doing what they can really to overcome the winter weather and heat the place so they can continue working. There's the offices between the two marketing labs. And HVAC's installed. Well, a lot, I shouldn't say every bit of it, but they have done, a tremendous amount of HVAC installation now up on the mezzanine. And that's it for the tech center. Of course, I drove by the site, and the site pictures are just absolute rain and mud, and they're waiting for some good weather to clean it up. But any questions on the Ignite Center North? We'll move to the Ignite Center South campus. Not as far along as the brick, of course, but you can see the brick coming on to the entry tower there. And there you can see they've installed plastic there as well, so they're going to implement the same plan to start putting some heat inside the building to be able, they've got to do that to do the finishes and keep the place dry inside. Here's inside the gymnasium storm shelter. Here's inside another corridor shot. You can see a lot of work is to the point where they're ready just about to clean up the block and put in ceilings. And there's from one of the storage mezzanines looking down. You can see on the pay applications, of course, there's a lot of materials that are stored on site. And you can see they've got a lot stored there. And again, the plastic, you can see where they've implemented the plastic. Just a shot from up on top of one of the storage mezzanines. Of course, there'll be some walls separating that, but it's a pretty neat shot right now where you can see all the way through. Just another lab space, classroom and office on the right, tools and storage rooms on the left there. There's a mezzanine up top. You can see a lot of the electrical panels and HVAC equipment. Next picture is also more HVAC equipment. That's an energy recovery unit, as they call it. And some more HVAC equipment and exhaust in place and ready to be installed. And a shot of the gymnasium there as well. And there's another, just a shot in another lab with, you can see the classroom there and storage rooms. The storage mezzanine up above. And that's the South Campus Ignite Center in Berea. Any questions on that particular project?
Just in general, I know it's a little bit further behind in Richmond than the Richmond campus. Are you anticipating any problems in being able to get in there for the fall?
Not the fall, not the fall. They have had, and Dr. Gill may be surprised here, but they have had a problem. One of their delay times, or one of their delay problems has been on one of the brick, which we're trying to work through that. They've got one color, the other color didn't work. So it's going to potentially slow down the May date. And I say that, it's not going to slow down the date for Madison County to be able to put equipment in there, but some of the site grading and the roofing may not be as complete. So I just, that's something I was going to inform the board of anyway, but they haven't really figured out how long it's going to set them back now. But August, no. Neither project is going to have a problem with getting in August and moving in equipment over the summer, moving in furniture over the summer. I don't see that as a problem at all. So we can move on to, if there's no other questions, to Clark Moore's. And the first few pictures are just the pretty pictures of Area D, which is the back existing 96 addition that was done. Clark Moore's has now moved into that building. That was the first phase of the renovation. That's one of the shiny classrooms. That's the shiny home ec room. You all bought some new stoves for that area. There's the corridor. So again, Clark Moore's is in that area. There's the athletic field. The athletic building. There's where the concessions windows are. That's the band room area. Now renovation begins on the next phase, so we go quickly into kind of the more ugly pictures. And there's some more renovation shots. And the dock out back. It'd been bad weather, hadn't made much progress there, but they're ready to pour some more concrete. And that's it for Clark Moore's. Any questions on Clark
What about
Moore's?
the cafeteria at Clark Moore's?
I'm sorry?
The cafeteria?
Yes.
Have we moved into it? Is it almost?
No, it was scheduled to be down the whole time, just so that there was just so much work going on. So we worked through that early on, and Mr. Cash coordinated it up front that they were going to be doing lunch in the classrooms all year long. Dugouts, that's third base softball at Central. You can see it's coming along. First base softball at Central, up to roof bearing there. Central baseball on the third base, that'd be the home, and that's the first base. You can see the block coming up, working up there. And then when we go to Southern, that's the first base dugout. They're getting their footings in and they're ready for block. Third base dugout at baseball, they're ready for block there as well. If we go back to the softball, that's the first base softball. They've got the footings in and ready to come out of the ground. And same thing for the third base dugouts, ready to come out of the ground. So that's the toughest, they've had some bad weather to work through, and they're pushing through, and I know they're working through some cold weather. But they've, TK Industries has really pushed and done what they can despite the bad weather. But as you can see with some of the progress, but they're pushing they can to satisfy any schedule that might come up in, early March for Central and Southern. Any questions? Now, I know on your agenda item, you have an action item for schematic approval of the new Madison Middle School, so that's very exciting. But I figured I'd maybe go ahead and go over that now, as your action item will come later. This is a site plan proposed, of course, as the schematic for the new Madison Middle School. You can see to the right where it says Goggins Lane, And the north arrow there, just outside the north to the right is the back of Myers in the Richmond Center there. So I've labeled a side entry to the top. There'll be one side entry off of Goggins Lane there. That actually exists as a kind of a gravel entry now. And you can see where I have development listed down through there, that kind of boulevard road going through there off of Goggins Lane, and everything to the south is by the development. And they are going to put in an apron, a road apron at the other site entry that you can see, which will be the second entry to the site. So towards Goggins Lane, you can see, of course, the new middle school proposed, soccer, and we'll scoot in, zoom in on these areas. School, soccer field with track, football, and softball and baseball. And you can see I have 450 total parking spaces there. That's what we have on the whole site right now. That's not something that that's kind of the max. I mean, we could do more, but that's something we haven't narrowed down yet, but just to know, we can park a lot of cars on that site right now. So in design development, we'll work through that. If we zoom in on the middle school, it's 97,000 square foot building for comparison. That's about the same size as Cottle. And you can see the main entry to the right with Goggins to the right there and the service dock to the back. If we move over to the athletic fields, you can see soccer, track, field house. That would be like a Cottle, Ferristown type field house. Grandstands and concessions, grandstands that would be double-sided like Cottle and Ferristown. Concessions and restrooms building, and of course the football field. Parking and drives all around. Softball with press box and dugout, and baseball with press box and dugout to the back of the site. So if we talk about program, and that turned out a little bit small for me, but standard classrooms, there's 22 resource rooms, there's 10. Special education self-contained would be 1. Science classroom 6. Distance learning. Now, distance learning is, I don't want to assume any curriculum there, but it's really going to turn into a large conference room. You could do adult education, faculty conferences. It's just going to be a multi-purpose, or teaching as a classroom. And 3 computer classrooms. We'll look at that a little closer in a minute. SBDM classroom, well, the SBDM, just site-based decision-making. You have a certain allotment of space that you can just do above and beyond KDE's programmatic amount, just because Madison County decides to do that. So we have one large kind of suite there that fulfills that role. An art, home ec, band, music, of course, a media center, gym with lockers and stage, cafeteria, kitchen, what's my next word? Oh, yes, we have custodial receiving room, which, and let's see, what, administration suite, teacher's lounge, youth service center suite. There's a couple of rooms there, and a staff workroom. So if we jump, so that's your program. Now, of course, there's restrooms and little restrooms and mechanical rooms and things like that. That's more your net program space for this facility. Now, that's just a big kind of, we'll zoom in on these, but you can see the entry down. Now I'm turning the entry on you. The entry was towards our right, towards Goggins Lane. Now, for the purposes of these plans, the entry will be turned down in these pictures. If we go to the next one, we zoom in, you can basically see where the entry is. Similar to a Cottle Ferristown plan, you'll walk in and there's administration, but of course Cottle and Ferristown, your offices are on the right. Here the offices are on the left. You walk into a nice wide lobby. You can see where the gym is on the right, the media center on the left. Walk back around a quarter and there's chorus and band. Now the administration area is down to, zoomed in a little bit on the admin area there. There's your typical youth service to the right and general office to the left with office suites, workrooms, faculty toilets, things of that nature. Towards the back, of course, is the kitchen and cafeteria. If you can imagine Cottle and Ferristown as you work towards the back there. If you go to the academic areas, these are 2 of the classrooms wings, and you can see we've implemented the commons areas in those classroom wings. And the kind of bluish, purpley blue areas, of course, are the there's boys and girls toilets in each wing. They are so there's a pair in each wing. And then the last classroom wing is there. Oh, and there's 2 science per wing as well. And you can see the art room there. And I believe we have one more. Oh, didn't zoom, let's see, let's back up to right there. I'm sorry, there's the SBD, on the right, there's the SBDM. Yes, that is 2 classrooms that are just your, what would call standard computer classrooms because they meet certain criteria for KDE. But this was Tech Ed in Caudle and Ferris, but here it will be like an enlarged technology lab. So it could fulfill a lot of the same functions, but it's not going to have that same curriculum because in Madison County and other schools, that's kind of been fading out a little bit with all the furniture and the red lights and so forth. So it'll be kind of, this will be high-tech center. Ben should be excited about this area. And there's storage rooms and AV rooms and a smaller tech classroom as well. So I mentioned earlier on the programmatic space, I'd show you where that is. It's right there in the core of the building next to the media center, which is where it should be. So that covers both the site and the building specific. Of course, there's going to be floor plans for the field house and, the press box, which is pretty simple. They'll be very similar to Ferristown and Caudle as well. And as we get into design development, you'll see those specific, but they'll have lockers and toilets and concessions, things of that nature. So with that said, are there any questions regarding the new Madison Middle School?
Can we get a copy of that so that we can see it, study it, and look at it? Because it wasn't on our computer.
Oh, okay. And that's usually me because I usually send it to her 10
Yeah,
minutes
it's
before the board
hard to see,
meeting.
so I just want to study it.
Well, and I mean.
You may not want us to.
Oh, no, yeah. You can have that and you can blow it up.
Thank you.
It's practically identical to Caudle, just a lot of it just flipped.
It's a mirror, yeah,
Right.
it's a mirror. But one of the things that Dr. Gillum and I guess Mrs. Gallion, you've had some meetings with Mrs. Gallion as well. At Caudle and Ferristown, there were several resource rooms and classrooms that ended up kind of creeping away from the academic area. And other functions were taking place, and I thought it was a smart decision for them to advise, hey, can we get the resource rooms and classrooms all back down towards the academic area, and kind of the enrichment courses would be the ones that kind of move themselves, out away from there a little bit towards the front lobby. So the areas in the inside, kind of the core of the building, have moved around quite a bit. But other than that, the big time schematic, very similar, very similar. Yes.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
And I
Certainly
appreciate
is.
the SBDM room. We used to meet in cafeteria, so.
And I'll just take this opportunity while we're talking about it, because I know I think maybe even some misinformation. This is not an additional middle school for Madison County.
Correct.
This is moving Madison Middle. We are not building another
Right.
middle school. It's
That's a good point.
removing our middle school.
And Dr. Gillum was clear to me, this is the new Madison Middle School, not
Exactly.
a new Madison County Middle School. It's
Right.
the new Madison
We
Middle
are
School.
moving
Yes,
across town.
yes.
That's great.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Next on our agenda is our action agenda. Next up is our monthly financial reports with Mr. Woods.
Good evening.
How are you?
So we're going to change things up just a little bit this time with we're going to review the school activity funds. So these are the funds within the school. In order to do our monthly financials and get our bank rec done, the timing of the board meeting, all of our reports had not dropped from the bank, so we weren't able to get our bank rec done in time. There's just no way with the timing. So what we'll do, we'll go over these, and the board, in board policy, it's set for you all to review these twice a year. So this is your mid-year review. All these balances are as of December 31st. Just some quick notes on it. If you see anything that's got a negative balance, they have till June to clear that up. So sometimes some of the different programs, whether it's a sport or it's a club account, they have fundraisers outstanding, all the money's not come in, so they're carried until all the money comes in. So there's one for each school. That's basically it. It's just a requirement for you all to review these. I'll leave it for any questions you might have.
You don't have any questions for Mr. Woods? Thank you, sir.
And I will say that on these, due to one of the GASBs, I have to look through every transaction, because I have to take all of these transactions and get them on our Munis books now. So they're very, very vetted. So,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, thank you.
that's it.
Quick and
Thank
easy
you.
tonight.
Thank you.
Next up is to approve a BG1 for Madison Kindergarten Academy. Dr. Gill, you got something?
Yes, this is just the BG1 to get us rolling on a replacement for a cooling tower at Madison Kindergarten Academy. That one is, it's getting old and it's breaking down on us, and we need to replace it. So this is just a BG1 to do that.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to approve the BG1 for Madison Kindergarten Academy cooling tower project?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passed. Next on our agenda is to approve the hiring of a design professional. Dr. Gillen, you want to say?
Yeah, this is, KDE required it, we are required as we design buildings and build buildings, that we have to have a design professional, licensed architect that will also contract with engineers. And the one we've been using for several years now is Klopfelter Samakar and Mr. Tony Thomas. He knows our buildings, and he's done a great job with that. And we would recommend that we approve him for this, for the new middle school that he has presented a schematic design for.
The new Madison Middle School.
The new Madison Middle School.
Yes. Okay, make a motion to approve the hiring of Klopfelter Samakar architect Tony Thomas as the design professional for the new Madison Middle School.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Brock, and a second.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is to approve the schematic for the new Madison Middle School. Anybody,
As presented by Mr. Thomas there.
anyone have any questions? All right. Can I have a motion to approve the schematic plan for the new Madison Middle School as presented?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Motion.
second.
By Ms. Burford, second by Ms. Cobb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The
Any
two women
opposed?
that have children.
Motion passed. Next up is 7E, is to declare bus surplus.
Yeah, this is just our list of buses that, just so everyone knows what we take, we buy new buses, we put them on routes, we take our route buses off, we make them sub buses. Then as they start to age or we start to run into any issues with them, we turn them into our CSEP buses, which are the ones that are stationed there, as part of their CSEP program. And then we pull them off once they become old there, or we start to have issues with them there. Then we pull them off, use them for parts, and whatever is left after that whole process, and you can see the age on some of these. I think there's some 1980, 81, 82 buses on there. At that point, then we surplus them, which are typically they go to scrap, but we do get a scrap price on them and sell them at public auction. So that's what we're doing with these this list of buses.
Anyone have any questions? Can I have a motion to declare the bus surplus as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock,
Second.
second by Ms. Cole. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is 7F, to approve the volleyball position at Madison Southern High School.
Yeah, this is a volleyball position. The volleyball boosters group down there is requesting an additional coach to do some off-season training with them. Just so you all will know, this position, I think, pays $718. It's going to be funded by the booster club, but as you know, any coach position has to be approved. Boosters can't just go out and do that. They have to get approval of the board and do that. And of course, we do it with a few other sports across the district, but that's what they're wanting to do there.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to approve the volleyball position at Madison Southern High School as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cobb.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up is 7G, is to approve an emergency certification for a LBD teacher at Whitehall. Anybody got any questions? Can I have a motion to approve the emergency certification as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Cobb,
A second.
second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. 7H is to approve the insurance agent of record. Dr. Gillum?
Sure. We did do, the board requested we do an RFP for, request for proposals for our insurance agent of record. We put that out a few months ago. We had several respondents. We had a committee made up of some folks here in district office, as well as you had a board representative, Ms. Cobb, and we reviewed those proposals, selected a couple to interview, and then we performed interviews last week. And with that in mind, or actually this week, early this week, and the committee's recommending that we approve Houchins Insurance Group as our insurance agent of record. Houchins Insurance Group is essentially the same group that we had this year. I think under the name Roding. There's some combined things there with that agency, but they're going as Houchins Insurance Group with this. So,
Any questions? No? Can I have a motion to approve Houchins Insurance Group as the insurance agent of record?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock. Second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Cole. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next up is 7I, which is to approve a MOU for Kentucky Tech Madison County.
yeah, this is our memorandum of understanding where we're, the board did vote to do control and management of the area tech center. We've been working with KDE, and we have to have a memorandum of understanding with our other districts that are serviced by that, currently serviced by that area tech center, which are Estill County, Berea Community, and then also Model has the ability to send students there as well. So we've had that memorandum of understanding. We've reviewed it, and I do notice it's not attached. I'd be glad to send that to you, but basically it just says they can send a prorated number of students as long as we're getting state funding for it. So, and they have to operate by our district rules when they're there.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with Estill County and Berea Community School Districts for the Madison County School District to assume management and control of the Vocational Education and Technology Center located in Madison County? Also
So moved.
motion by Ms. Burford, have a second.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is the superintendent's report.
All right, well, thank you. It's only been a short time since we had our last meeting, so although it's been a short time between, between the rain, the snow, the ice, the COVID, and the legislative session of the General Assembly, it has been pretty busy the last few weeks. But my report tonight, I only have three things that I want to mention to you. The first thing I want to mention is I want to continue my appreciation and praise of our teachers, our principals, our custodians, our nurses, cafeteria staff, secretaries, bus drivers, all of our central office staff, our maintenance staff, everybody across our district. They just continue to do an amazing job. We are here in February. We have had to take a few days off because of some weather, but we've been making it all the way through and haven't had to adjust our schedule much at all. So I really appreciate everything that they've done. Second, I want to introduce and welcome our newest principal in the district, Dr. Ashley Cornelison at Whitehall Elementary, and she is here tonight. If you'd like to step up to the podium there, just so they can see you and speak to you. They may have some questions for you. Typically, they don't, but just in case.
Oh, he doesn't know us.
But I do want to welcome her. Dr. Cornelison is a graduate of Eastern Kentucky University, and she earned her doctorate at the University of the Cumberlands. She's been employed at Madison County Schools for 10 years, serving as a first grade teacher, a reading recovery teacher, and an academic specialist, all at Whitehall Elementary. She lives in Richmond. She's married to James and has a daughter, Aubrey, who is a 7th grader, I believe, at B. Michael Caudle Middle School. So congratulations to Dr. Cornelison.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Happy to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. As you can tell, Whitehall is extremely special and important to me. I love the people there, the students, the families. So I'm truly honored and privileged, very humbled. I have only been principal for 8 days now, but I have loved every single second. And I look forward to working with all of you and all the people of Madison County. So thank you.
Thank you, and welcome.
Well, thank you. And then the third thing that I want to mention tonight, the last line of our district mission statement says that we strive to equip students with the skills to make a positive impact on our community and world. And with that in mind, I want to show you a brief video clip from ESPN Sports Center that was aired yesterday. So I believe it's called...
Saw today. A shout to Coach Austin Newton and his team down in Madison Southern, that's in Berea, Kentucky, as well as the students and the fans who supported their Special Olympics game. The boys won their game over Tate's Creek as well, but it is so great to see. Look at this team. They're supporting Special Olympians and treating them like the stars that they are. Some students have set up their own sports center desk, which you'll see here in a bit. They did the whole nine. As I said on Twitter, it feels good to be kind, and it is not difficult to do so. So salute to Eagles, Madison Southern, and all the folks down there in Berea for how they showed out for the Special Olympics game. The best thing I saw today. A shout to Coach Austin.
All right, so you heard our elementary principals talk about social emotional learning, the things they're doing. You saw this. We have great things like this going on across our district, and I just want to make sure that I highlight that. That's my superintendent report.
I have a nephew on that team, so I am super proud of Austin and all of those guys. There were all kinds of, it wasn't just basketball that was helping out, it was all of the students at Southern. It was really cool.
Any other comments?
Thanks for all of the gift cards, the food,
Yes.
all the gifts and stuff for School Board Appreciation Month. We appreciated it.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
It's a little bit of a thankless job sometimes, but it's very, very rewarding.
The
So,
cookies were good
The
too.
cookies were really good,
I ate mine on the way home.
but we appreciate it. Thank you all.
Anyone else?
I'm just looking forward to us getting together here in a couple of weeks and doing our annual training, and we always learn something, and it's fun for us to actually get together and, be a group when we're not officially in a meeting, so it's, looking forward to it.
Everybody stay safe out there tonight. Who knows what we're going to get? Roll the dice and we'll see what happens. But we got the one call, so I'm sure everybody already knows we're out of school tomorrow.
The only thing I had, Dr. Gilmore kind of talked about it, was I was going to give a shout out to our maintenance crews and our custodians. A couple weeks ago, we had all the snow. I mean, you drove by every school, parking lots were clear, they had sidewalks cleared, and they worked several hours. Even though we called off school, it's still a thankless job, and we appreciate it from when we did come back. And then the other thing I was going to talk about was Coach Newton. It's great. It's awesome. He goes above and beyond with those kids. He's not just a coach, he's a mentor to them. So I think every coach should look up to Coach Newton and see what he does with his kids, because he's not just teaching them how to play ball, he's teaching them how to be men, and it's a really good thing. So.
We can add in our bus drivers to that.
Yes.
Thank you too, 'cause
Yes.
All of them.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be driving a bus on normal weather, so I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're keeping our kids safe.
Anything else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Ms. Brock and Ms. Cobb, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion adjourned.